y'all. It's Tab with Tab Space, and I'm here with a special guest, Terai. Introduce yourself.
Yes, hey, I'm Terai. I am 29. I have an event planning business, e-commerce business, and I'm excited to be here.
You want to promote anything since we at the top of the show?
Yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram or all social platforms really at TheTink, TheeTink. And my business page for my event planning is _ freedom brings. Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you for introducing yourself, and make sure you tap in with her, get your events planned and everything.
That part.
Tap in. All right. So, got a little bit of a different topic today. It's like I guess, controversial one a little bit, but we're gonna talk about being in the LGBTQ community and dating and just dating nowadays anyway, because dating is something else. All right, so we're both part of the community. I'm gonna let you decide if you want to, disclose what part of the community you are. Like if you want to expose your sexuality or not. I'm not going to personally do so, just because I feel like it's not necessarily important to where we're trying to go. But you feel free to if you would like to. But the questions I'm gonna ask to you, and then like if I've got my own opinion or something like that, I'm gonna kind of sprinkle it in there a little
Throw
bit.
a little two pieces.
Yeah. All right. So first things first. What's your relationship status?
I'm currently single.
Okay.
Yep. single.
Me too.
Hey.
Sometimes it feels like the safest thing to be is single.
Yeah. Yes.
But then again, a healthy relationship is a very safe thing to be in. I would love to say.
Emphasis on healthy.
Healthy. Very big emphasis on healthy. And toxic relationships are glorified nowadays, so.
Facts.
So are you currently immersed in the dating scene? Like, would you say you're dating? Would you say that you're trying to stay out of it? You dibble and dabble? What's your...
I trust God. I'm gonna say that. Okay. So like I'm not necessarily looking. I'm not necessarily not looking. But if something swings my way, I'm open to it. But I'm not venturing off looking for it on dating platforms and and whatnot. I'm really just doing my thing, focusing on my growth and myself.
That's right. That's right. I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm going with the flow. I'm chilling, as they say. But since you brought that up, how do you feel about dating sites? Because I feel like for a minute they were like going up. They were all the rise, and now it's like they either plateaued or they're falling down.
Yeah, I feel like now, like, people go to the dating sites with bad intentions. Like, I don't think people have the best intentions when they're on dating sites. Like, they say one thing in their little bio of what they want, and then deep down, like, they just trying to fool.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I find that a lot more than not on dating sites. I've gone on there just to find a friend before, like, because nowadays it's hard to find genuine people. So if you have like a site where you have other people looking for the same thing, and they put that in their description, then that's the thing I was going to dating sites for. But
you think it's easier to make a friend off of one of those than it is to find a partner?
I mean, yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
I would agree. I've had, I think, one successful relationship off of a dating site, which was like a shot in the dark. Like, I think that's like a 1 in a million type of thing. Just like finding your partner in general. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm cool on them. It's just too fucking much.
Yeah.
It's like just putting yourself into a cesspool or something like that.
No, yeah, it's for real.
No time for it. I'm not gonna ask. Okay. When you hear the term, the dating pool is filled with piss, what do you think? Do you agree? What's your opinion on that statement?
like we just mentioned, like people nowadays just don't have good intentions or don't even know what they want. Like they'll say that they want one thing, they'll get that, and then end up screwing it up somehow because they didn't realize what they were getting themselves into for real.
Yeah.
So
they don't really know what they want, or they want toxic shit. Like
yes.
I've met so many people that be like, "I'm like toxic," and I just be like,
"You're crazy." Do you know what you're saying right now? Yeah.
Did I hear you correctly?
This dating pool is definitely definitely got something floating around in there. So it is hard to, like I said, find people with good intentions. It's hard to find people that align with or have morals that align with yours, especially nowadays, because everything's come so easy to people, and I feel like people have a hard time fighting for what they wanted.
Yeah, I think that there's this need for instant gratification nowadays because everything is so at my fingertips. I can do whatever I want at my fingertips. Like literally, I can date in some swipes. So yeah, people think that life is supposed to be just fast, and life is meant to be lived and enjoyed, and like you're supposed to take your time and enjoy the views and really like soak it up. Like when you rush through it, it's like it'll run away from you if you keep running, like chasing it away.
Facts. Yeah.
All right, so what's your ideal partner look like, since we're talking about the dating pool being filled with piss and finding the right fish? What would your ideal
fish look like?
Yeah, what would your ideal partner be?
Honestly, if anybody that knows me, they know I'm not really consistent as far as the looks of my partner. Like I'm always
no type.
Yeah, I don't really have a specific physical type.
Yeah.
I do go for more like mentality or like what's on the inside, I would say. So yeah, I've dated all different shapes, sizes, colors, heights, so I can't really I've never like dreamt my perfect partner and it be this perfect image of someone. Like they were one color or whatever. I can't imagine it.
When I say ideal, maybe not a look, because I agree. I'm not a type person. Like, a lot of my friends be like, you just don't have a type. Like, you just be dating whoever, whatever, and da-da-da-da. Looks are not all of that to me. Right. I would say, being a Pisces as I am, I'm a sapiosexual. I'm more interested in your intellect. How do you think?
Yes.
I'm not really, like, looking at the outside. But what are some ideal traits that you would like? What are some like this would be, you checked off this box. This is a green flag for you.
I think someone that has emotional, what's the word, maturity,
emotional intelligence,
intelligence. Someone who knows themselves.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of people that can't even like identify their triggers or identify certain things about them that can tick them off when it comes to certain relationships. And people can be triggered by something and not even realize it, and then they flipping out on you, and they can't be communicated properly because they don't even know what's going on.
So they don't have that self-awareness.
Yes. So I think that's definitely a turn on, is talking to someone that has that emotional intelligence and that knows where they're at mentally when it comes to that relationship or moving on with somebody else. And then that, like I said, open communication in general, that honesty up front, that to me is a big turn on. Like if you just let me know up front, like this is where I'm at, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, this is where I've been, and just being open and being honest and letting me do with what I want with that information, I think that is a turn on for me.
Okay, I love that. I think self-awareness is very important, and I think that a little piece of that is having at least knowing where some of your traumas come from, and maybe working through them a little bit if you can help it.
Right.
And if you can't, maybe working through them together.
Like, exactly.
I like that. What are your icks or red flags on the opposite end?
Icks. I guess it'll be on the contrary. Like anybody that, if you gotta lie to me about anything, like I can't trust you. Because what are we lying for? Especially in the beginning stages when you're first talking to somebody, people lie about the stupidest stuff. And it's like, bro, if you would have just told me that, like, I could have decided from there where I wanted to go with that.
Right.
We could have worked through this.
Right.
But people lie about the just dumbest stuff in the beginning, and that for me, I'm a Cancer. We're very empathetic people, so we can understand deep down most 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
We may not always agree with it, but we can communicate that with you. We get to let you know, like, okay, well, I don't necessarily agree with that, but this is how we can move forward with that information. So I think just feeling like you need to lie about anything is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I would agree, and I will say, I feel like people try to market themselves to a certain level. I feel as though people they put their best foot forward when they're first dating, and I think it's easy to get caught up in some like a little fib here, if I fib here, I feel fib there. Like, it's not gonna be the end of the world, but like it is gonna matter. And I will say that there's a difference between like lying and just having the full on intent of just going with that, and then saying something silly and then being like, you know what? Let me run that back. You know what? That's not true. This is what it is. This is who I really am, and like this is where I'm coming from. I can respect that because at least you're adult enough to be like, you know what? I ain't even being 100 with you right now. And I feel like it's easy to get caught up in who you want to be, in this image of like, ooh, I want to be this person. I'm gonna, but you gotta start to take accountability and kind of walk the walk and talk the talk too.
Yes.
Be able to take accountability if you're wrong. Be able to say like, hey, I messed up, and just like you said about that self-awareness, that's real important.
Exactly. And little white lies are still lies in my opinion. So like don't sugarcoat the truth either. So just be real with it. I mean, like, if you have been involved with someone and you may not be all the way over them yet, like, be honest about that, because
that's the biggest thing to not lie about. And I think that that's one of the biggest issues in the dating pool right now that makes it so filled with piss, is a lot of people are not over their ex, and they're just going into this like dating situation and being in these situationships still attached to somebody, and they're not healing from it.
Right.
And that's the worst thing you can do, is go back into a dating situation not healed from your last.
Yes.
It's so important to, if you're gonna date, be over, like, just don't date until you and your ex are completely done.
Exactly.
Because if there's even a sliver of a doubt that they could get back in there and they find out that you're dating,
they gonna definitely sabotage that.
They gonna pounce real quick, and they're gonna ruin it for you. So it ain't even worth it.
No.
But that's a lesson that you learn. You live and you learn.
Yeah. Definitely.
What's the most difficult part, in your opinion, about being a part of the LGBTQ community?
The most difficult part. So I'm bi, and I find it very hard to like approach women, if I'm honest, because I've dated femmes, I've dated masks, I've dated studs, like I've dated a spectrum of. That's why I say I don't really have a type, really, but my most difficult thing that I struggle with is approaching people and identifying, like, okay, well, are they even, because, like, the girls' bathroom, for instance, like, you go to the girls' bathroom, like, we all girlies in there, okay, but if I'm attracted to someone, I'm like, dang, like, I could really, I think I want to take this girl on a date or something like that. You never know if, when you're being approached, you never know if it's like, are they flirting with me or are they just being a girly?
Right.
So I have a hard time differentiating the two, to where I have to start being blunt, which is also awkward sometimes. Like, oh, well, like, I don't even know, saying some slick stuff like, yeah, that ass fat. I don't even know. Like, what that ass fat. Just throwing out like, okay, I'm actually courting you. Like, I'm actually interested in you.
Not the ass fat when I'm courting you. I'm crying.
I mean, I have to throw in some type of flirtatious thing where it's not just like, hey, you're cute, you're girly, we girlies, girl power. It's more so like, hey, you're cute, I'm interested in you, what's your number, I want to go on a date.
Yeah. most definitely. I don't think that. I think that's a shared experience among a lot of people in like the lesbian or bi space. Is because I mean I can only speak from those two. From my personal experience, I think that that's probably one of the most difficult parts is being able to approach a woman and like to know if she's going to reciprocate that in that same way or think of it as a friend.
Yes.
And or the fact that females are very intimidating, just like how men feel that, you know, some men, there are men that don't feel intimidated by women, but there are men that are, and I understand why, because we are intimidating. They're like to approach, to try to navigate, like, are you cool? Are you not? Right. What type of vibe is it? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I would.
What make it be so wishy washy, so you never really know.
That was what I was gonna say. My most difficult part about being a part of the LGBT community is that women can be so wishy washy. It is like it could be day and night. You could be like in it. You could be like like you could be attaching yourself to someone almost, and then all of a sudden it'll just dissipate. They'll just be like literally the next day
gone.
Oh, well, something else happened, or I don't know. Like it be.
I started talking about X again.
It be crazy. It be the craziest stuff.
I started my period.
Oh, I started my period.
I'm actually not interested in it.
I'm about to move in 3 days. Like I have a man. Ooh, and that's another thing. If you are trying to date a bi woman and they have a history with men or they're still involved with men. Good luck. That will create some traumas if you don't, especially if you're not careful. And if because like I remember, I'll tell a little story, a little backstory. I remember I talked to this girl. She was beautiful. Everything was cool. We were talking for a little minute. But every time we would hang out, she would buy her roommate something. And her roommate was a guy. And I knew she was bi. But I was just like, I would peep, and I would be like, so what's up with you and your roommate? Because I'm like, I'm not dumb. Like, why do you buy this man something every time we go somewhere? Ain't no way. I have a roommate as well. I don't buy this girl nothing when we go out. And I love her. I hang out with this girl every day. Ain't no way you buying this man, grown man, food, tchotchkes, all this stuff every time we go somewhere. So I had asked, that's just my roommate, girl. We're at this party one night, and we're dancing, everything's cool. And then all of a sudden, I'm taking her home, and we were drunk. But I wasn't too drunk to drive, because I don't condone drunk driving. Let me put that out there off rip.
Kids.
Don't do that. Don't do that. But we had a few drinks. I had given myself enough time to, sober up. So I definitely was peeping everything that was being said in the car. And we're on our way, and she goes, yeah, I got to call my boyfriend. And I said, like record scratch, wait, what? You're what? And she was like, I mean my roommate. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, no, you didn't. And I was like, so you deal with your roommate? And she was like, so I got to be honest, like, we used to have relations and all that. I'm like, girl, don't worry about it. This is the last time you're gonna see me. I dropped her off. That was the last time she saw me. But yeah, it's rough out here, ladies. It's rough.
Yeah, sometimes, and ladies, y'all sometimes be doing too much for men, because you telling me every time y'all went out, she bought him something? Like, no, that's like, girl, do he got a job? Is he
what's he got going on?
Why y'all not flip-flopping?
What's the financial situation?
Is it 50-50 or is it 80-20? I'm confused.
He should have gone on a few dates and got you some stuff.
I'm saying.
You got to switch it up a little.
You got to pay for me and my friends, but I mean, at least every now and then.
Send us some money. Send her money for our date. Since we doing that.
I ain't even asking all that, but
send us up. No, I'm just talking. All right. So what do you go on the flip side again? What do you enjoy about being a part of the LGBT community?
What do I enjoy about it? I enjoy being able to be like authentically myself and not having to worry about just I don't know. I think being a part of the LGBTQ community, the Alphabet Mafia, or whatever you want to call it, it's opened me up to be more aware of who I am, and just like the people that you come around. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever been to Pride Parades. There's straight people, gay people, trans people, people of all different parts of the mafia there. So I think I think just the community in itself and how it's evolved over time and how accepting it's been becoming over time. I think that is what I'm most proud of the LGBTQ community.
Okay. I would say that I would say kind of the same thing. I love going to a pride parade. I love being around a community of people that are just accepting each other. I love to see people from all different walks of life and all different, diversities and all that, like just come together and enjoy something that is bigger than us. I enjoyed watching it go from certain states you couldn't get married in the LGBT community. Now you can. Certain things are being more widely accepted for people.
Yeah.
And I really love that. And I grew up in a household where my parents don't know too much about that. So I don't want to say they're ignorant about it because that's not fair to say. Like, I just feel like they just don't know enough about it.
I mean, that's what ignorance means, lack of knowledge.
Yeah. I guess that's a good way to put it. They just don't know much about it, and it's difficult for me myself to educate them without getting a little frustrated from time to time, just because it's an older mindset.
Yeah.
And I can't understand it because I'm from a progressive world. I was born in a progressive time. I wasn't born in a time where that was cool to not be accepting of anything. So it can be a little culture shock from time to time when you get around older people and they're just like, you get that turned up look, that judgment, and then I guess that goes into another question. Have you experienced prejudice or judgment where you feel like you were being proudly a part of your community and somebody was just hating? You could just tell they were hating on you.
If I did, I don't think I cared enough to notice. Cause I did grow up in I have an older brother. He's 9 years older than me. He's part of the mafia or the LGBTQ community, and so he came out when I was young. So I grew up already exposed to it, and not in a bad way at all. Like I wasn't seeing too much for me to, and I don't think that's what made me be who I am today. Seeing him like that, but I will say the fact that he already came out, my family was already accepting of it, and I have a few people in my family that are part of the mafia. So I think that for me, I haven't had too many challenges of being judged or anything like that. If I was being judged, it's more so by men just expecting if you're dating a woman to just for them to be a third. Yeah. Or something like that. Men expect to just, you got a girlfriend? Oh, what's up? What's up with y'all? No, it's not that. We are still very monogamous. And I think a lot of men have, the hardest part is just running off those men. No, I don't want no part.
That's gotta be one of the most diabolical things that a man could say. Is to walk up to you and your female and be like, well, can I join?
No, you can't.
But if a man were to walk up to you and your female and said that, how would you feel?
As a man. Oh.
How would you feel if the reverse were to happen to you?
I mean, I ain't it's real creepy. I bet it'd be weird.
I'm sure it would creep you out.
I bet they get mad.
I'm sure. So if you would get mad at it, maybe think about that before you walk up to a woman and ask that question.
Exactly.
Because it's a little wild if you ask me.
For real. But there are some people that's into that, and if
you into that,
I've tried poly before and all of that, so I get it, but
more power to you.
But no.
I respect it. I guess you're the only person that should be asking that question. Then, if you're into that, then
if you're into that, then
but still, you probably shouldn't ask that question.
I wouldn't approach another couple. No, I would not. So I'm poly. What's up? Make me your third, but. If I was dating someone, I could venture off and look, but I don't think I would approach another couple.
there's a time and a place.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain times and places not to do that.
Yeah.
And most times and places. Um, what's one piece of advice that you'd give a younger you in the perspective of discovering your sexuality and growing up part of enough like a minority group, I guess you could say. I don't like to say minority group because it sounds kind of but yeah.
um, just be yourself and be true to yourself. Listen to yourself, honestly, because you could. I know for example, I mean, I don't want to speak off of someone else's experience, but I remember having friends in school, male friends in particular, that everyone knew was gay. Everyone and their mama and aunties and cousins, their mama, all of them knew they was gay, but they were in denial or something. It's like, dude, you like, come on, like you walking around like this, like we all know, we all know, everyone knows it's okay, like just be yourself. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like your friends, like the people that really matter are the ones that's gonna stick around. Yeah. And if there are people that end up judging you for it or not wanting to be cool with you no more, then that's their problem. And those are the people that you don't need in your life anyways. Yeah. So I think just being authentically yourself, being true to yourself, and not letting like anybody that does have a problem with it get to you, because at the end of the day that they don't matter. Their opinion doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as you're comfortable in your skin, then that's all that matters at the end of the day. So I would say that.
I would agree with that. I would say that growing up, like I didn't really feel too comfortable exploring my sexuality. I didn't feel like I was in an environment that really fostered that. Like I felt like one of my parents would have been accepting of it. The other one made it clear that they would not. Mm-hmm. So it was like something I dabbled in and then I like let it go. And I was like, I'll deal with this when I'm an adult. Right. I won't say that there was no value in waiting till I was an adult to figure it out. Because I will say that as a kid with so many things that you have to deal with and think about, figuring out who you want to be in love with when you don't even grasp the concept of love yet, regardless of whether it's with a man or a woman, it's a lot. Yeah. And it can, no matter who you fall in love with, whether it be male, female, indifferent, love can really mess with your perception of the world if you're not able to do it with a full head of the growth that you get by the time that you go from a kid to 18 to 21 to 25. Right. You know what I mean? Like, right. Enjoy being a kid. Enjoy that because that is so quickly gone. Mm-hmm. And you look back and you're like, dang, I was so focused on this silly little thing that like I don't even know yet. Right. Right. Because you won't really figure it out until you are in multiple situations where you're like, okay, I like this. I don't like this. I love this. This is what I want.
Yeah, because I do remember like being younger and I'm like questioning like, do I have a crush on this girl or do I just want to be her friend? Like, so you when you're young, it's like you don't really know the difference between the two. You're like, well, I really like this person, but you don't know if you like them or if you just like them.
You don't know what the difference between in love and I love you is. True. At that age. It's a lot to grasp. And honestly, as an adult, do we know what in love and I love you is yet? Like, we're starting to figure it out and like wade the waters, but it takes a minute to figure out which one is which up until you find it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because some people go their whole lives still searching for that in love feeling. Yeah. Meanwhile, they stuck on an ex from 10 years ago, not realizing that they was probably in love with them. Yeah.
That's exactly true. It doesn't happen any faster the faster that you do it. Honestly. Yeah. What progress have you seen in the advancement of the community? I mean, I kind of talked about like seeing it go from you can't get married to you can, but like in your personal life.
I would say just the acceptingness, is that a word? Acceptance. Just being able to be accepted walking down the street. Like I feel like back in the day, like a trans person walking down the street, they felt their life was in danger, especially if it was like in the hood or something. I think even now today, yeah, they could still have that aspect of it, but I know some people that transition and they back then compared to like, let's say 15, 20 years ago. Back then they weren't comfortable being able to like go on dates with people because they didn't know if it was a setup or, like stuff like that. But I feel like nowadays people are way more accepting of it. They're like, oh, okay, that's what you are. Oh, you're trans. Oh, okay, well, I'm actually not into that. I'm gonna go ahead and just be about my business. Versus, oh, you trans, I'm about to beat you up.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point in all that? So I think that has definitely been something I'm proud of as far as the progress. Because back in the day, like I said, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, I remember a time where when I was a kid, there was somebody at my school, and everybody knew him for being who he was, and he just got people did some very messed up things to him just because of who he was, and it broke my heart. And I'm glad I have not heard nothing like that in a very long time, because that type of stuff, it's like it goes back to when we used to get beat up for being the color of our skin. Like, for you to not accept somebody. And that's why it bothers me when, and let's talk about it real quick, when people in our community hate gays. Yeah. It's the same prejudice that you're trying to fight our whole lives, but then you're going to put it on somebody else because of their sexuality, because you feel like it was their choice. Exactly. So if I say it was your choice to be black, and then I want to hate you for that, is that okay?
Exactly.
I just don't agree with that.
It just don't make sense. The math not math.
The math is not mathing. We need to build each other up, no matter what minority group we're a part of.
And I would say nowadays, like, I feel like there's a lot more people just taking up for the community as well. Like, straight, whatever. Like, I feel like there's more people that's like, hey, they just themselves, like, just let them be, versus just watching it or just being like, well, they shouldn't have been wearing women's clothes, or well, they should have not, they shouldn't have been taping their breasts down. Like, I don't know. I just feel like nowadays people are willing to fight more for the community, and I like that.
I do. I love that. Do you have anything else you'd like to share? It doesn't have to be about this. It could be about this.
There was something I wanted to mention. What was it? You asked about, like, one of my favorite things about the community now too. Mm-hmm. Growing up with my brother in the community, he exposed me or introduced me to, like, balls. Have you ever been to a ball?
No, but I want to go to one.
Girl, I love going to balls. I've been going since I was like 15. And I would say, like, that atmosphere and that vibe, that energy, like doing the dead drop and all of that. Like, I never learned how to do that, but I'm like, ooh, they getting it. Yes. Okay. Like, everybody just coming together, good. Just cheering each other on, and the dances and just the creativity that the LGBTQ community has. Like, even when you go to a parade, you see all these different outfits and all these different ways of expressing yourself through your clothes or through dance. I just think that's a beautiful sight to see.
I love that. Well, you know what? I haven't been to one, so why don't you bless me with the opportunity to go to one, and then we're gonna bless them with the opportunity to be a part of it. No, not even hear about it. I'm gonna do a little vlog.
Oh, okay.
We gonna set it up. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming and being on Tap Space.
Of course. Thank you for having me, love. Anytime.
Of course.
That's the wrap.
It's a wrap.